whomst among us is the most tired of hearing about Damian Lillard's intentions or not intentions? Raise your hand if you're the most tired.
Dog, I got a fucking okay. Look, I want to preface this with saying I love Dame. He's a really good dude, solid guy. We all love Dame, right? But I'm tired of this shit. Yeah, I am done with the back and forth with the am I staying, am I going? I got an alert today from the ESPN app about how Mad Dog is tired of Dame. Like, that's where we're at with this day. We're getting alerts about how motherfuckers are tired of it, right? Like, I thought it was an update. I thought a trade had happened. It was like, nah, bro, Mad Dog is just sick of his shit. And I was like, God damn, like, how much are we going to milk this shit, bro? I don't know where Dame is, bro. I mean, you know, the whole running joke we've had is run from the grind, go somewhere where, you know, go to a contender. You know, I think you've proven yourself enough, you know, to the Trailblazers. I think he's the greatest Trailblazer ever, not perhaps the best player to wear that jersey.
What you mean.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right?
For sure.
But yeah, it's just, bro, like, I don't know. And I feel like a part of the way that he's moving is kind of, you know, a reactionary measure to how toxic the dialogue is around the NBA, where, you know, he probably has to, you know, kind of frame it like he reluctantly had to leave, or else he's going to get called a bandwagoner, you know, a fucking, you know, all your legacy's in the trash now, ring chaser, right? I feel like that's probably a part of the reason why he's playing it the way he is. But I'm just like, bro, you just got to pick a side, man. Do you want out or do you want to stay?
I think it's pretty evident he wants out. You know what I mean? And he should want out. There's nothing wrong with him wanting out in the current situation. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's just toxic. Like, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to hear the whole world throw his words in his face. At the time, he meant that shit. Things change. You know what I'm saying? And now he has to he's changed his mind. It makes sense. But there's no space for that in basketball. There's no space for that on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate. But, I mean, it's tiring hearing them back and forth. You know, I got ball sacked yesterday because I saw somebody talking about him. Like, I sent it to the
you got what?
I got ball sacked, bro. Somebody posted him like he's I got teabagged by the internet.
Jokes on you, Jack.
You know, yeah. So I sent it to my Trailblazer homie, and he was like, "Dude, don't say," you know, like, and I realized it was fake. Somebody posted it on Instagram. But anyway, yeah, man, like it's make a decision, my G, and the real ones will respect it. And you're not gonna you got clown for staying, you'll get clown for leaving. That's just the internet. Just lean into it.
Our friend Nate Jones, friend of the show, has been on a couple of times, obviously connected with Dame. You know, he had a tweet, and I take him at his word that he said, you know, one thing about Damian Lillard is that's not someone who is spending a lot of time worrying about public perception. And I think it's easy to, like, my read on it was exactly what John's was. He was so loud and, you know, of his conviction about, no, I'm not going to leave Portland just to go try and chase a ring, that maybe he felt held to that, you know, even though now he wants to do it. I think, you know, based on what Nate was saying, because I don't think that's like image control. I kind of take him at his word on that. I think he's just genuinely torn. And because of the way that media is, we're hearing about that. Like, I know every time I have, my wife Shar would tell you, she gets sick of it. If I have a professional decision to make, I think things through to a very absurd level. I'm thinking about, what's this look like tomorrow? What's this look like in a week? What's it look like in a month? What's it look like in a year? What's it look like when the kids graduate high school 12 years from now? Like, that's how, and so I go through, you know, like pros and cons, like all this kind of stuff. I'll take forever. And then when I make a decision, I'm really certain that I'm right. If Chris Haynes was reporting my thought process around anything the three of us have done together professionally, around my day job, people would be sick of me too.
Me and Tyler would have pulled up to your house and had a conversation with you, my nigga.
Right. Dog, it's time to shut the fuck
up. Let's get this over with right now, dog.
So I mean, I just think that's like, we want more info. The internet is hungry for it. We're all saying now we're sick of it. I'm sick of the story too, but also everyone wants to know what Dame's going to do. He's a great player.
Story,
he's beloved, you know? So I get it. But at the same time, yes, like I wish you could do one more Boolean search term on muting subjects. So I wish I could be like, mute Damian Lillard unless finalized. You know what I mean?
I hope he does leave, though. I hope he does leave. You know what I mean? I would love to see him on a contender playing with that Miami squad with a hell of a coach and a solid ass squad around him. I think basically all they're giving up is what, Tyler Hero and who else? You know what I'm saying? Like, but they'll still be, they're keeping the core of their squad, you know what I'm saying? So they're not giving everything up to get Dame. So I would love to see him on that squad, man. I mean, I don't get to watch. Nobody gets to watch a lot of Portland games unless you're in Portland. You feel me? Because they're so bad, they're not televised that much. So I love to see a bunch of Dame playing for a great Miami Heat team. You know, for something that later in the season. So
I think that Dame could very well not give a fuck about what people think about him, but I think that. I'm speaking as someone who does not give a fuck about what stranger motherfuckers think about me, right?
I can confirm that. This man does not give a fuck what you think. Yes.
Yeah. But there's also a part where you still want, to control your story. You still want the facts to be out there, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't give a fuck what you think about me, but bro, if you're thinking some wrong shit, if you got your facts fucked up, I might have to step in and be like, nah, bro, that ain't it, right? And I think that's probably the back and forth that Dame's having here. I think he very well probably doesn't give a fuck about what people think about him, but I think he also wants like I said, to control the story. Like he wants the facts to be out there, and you think about him however you think about him once the facts are there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same shit with KD, right? Like when KD was on the burner, you never saw him defending how good of a basketball player he was because he knew that was a silly fucking argument. He didn't give a fuck about that. He only defended like bro, I couldn't win in OKC. Those were the only tweets from his burner. Like I could not win with those guys. Y'all are framing this like OKC was a legit championship contender. We were not going to get out the West with that roster. Like that was the only time KD was active on the burners there. Like I said, I think KD is someone who also really doesn't give a fuck about what people think about him, but he wants people to have their shit right about the facts about him. So yeah, I think him and Dame are kind of like cut from that same cloth there.
KD's gonna call you the P word from his official account now. You know what I mean?
You gonna call me the P word?
I think that's my greatest flaw. Is like in an argument where it's okay for you to think I'm an asshole. Maybe I am being an asshole. You know what I mean? But here is the actual information. You know what I mean? And I'll argue no, this is what actually happened. And maybe I was being an asshole but I want you to go have the exact facts. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's I won't argue the result of what you think. You know what I mean? I'll argue that if you say you made a decision because of this, I'm like, well, this is what actually happened. And I think I'd argue that at times I shouldn't. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's a part of, something I've noticed is
Ronald's looking at me like.
Ronald's looking at you like, this motherfucker's lying.
No, she looking at, no, she like, this motherfucker is telling our business in the street. And now she's laughing, so we good. We'll go ahead.
Okay. I think that with Dame, it comes down to someone said this. Someone told me this about Joe Biden, right? Like when he was talking about, I want to reach across the aisle, we want to compromise. I knew a lot of people were like, this is bullshit, man. Like these people just tried to overthrow the country. Why are you trying to reach across the aisle? And then, as they roll forward on the Infrastructure Act, these other things, it's like he wasn't really trying to compromise with them. He wanted to appear to be compromising to them so that when they did not compromise, he could go, well, we tried. I feel like a little bit like that's what's going on with Dame. He wants to make it clear, like, I did everything I could to win here. Now, when I go to Miami and get my ring in 2 years, I did every single thing I could. Like, I think Tyler's exactly like he wants to make sure.
That's a public perception play, though. That's a public perception play like a motherfucker, man.
It's a public perception play, but I think it's also, to Tyler's point, trying to make sure that his true feelings about it are in the first sentence of the story and not the fourth paragraph of the story.
Yeah.
And the extent to which any of that is public perception, you could convince me either direction on that.
I mean, you could say it's a public perception play, but it's not a spin. It's facts, right? You know what I mean? So like I said, it's you can have that balance where you really don't give a fuck about what people think about you, but you still want to control your story and have the facts be out there.
Respect it completely too.
But to some extent, that is coming out of wanting the public to have an understanding of those things. Like it just is true, you know.
I think like Kid Cudi said this. Like he was like, what he said like, I give a fuck about people, but not really. Did he say something like that?
he said, I never gave a fuck. I mean, I did though, but fuck it.
But fuck it. And I think that is kind of how most of us feel. You know what I mean? Like, you don't give a fuck about what people think. I mean, you kind of do, but fuck it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's where he's at. And that's an understandable, respectable way of, feeling about it. He's not obsessed with it. You know what I mean?